could you get to the point where you're teaching groups of people in different districts, different states? Like how wide do you feel that you're able to cast your net now that from what you're telling me, you have a pretty solid foundation. You have a pretty good reputation when it comes to the children that you're dealing with now.
Are you talking about my tutoring company specifically?
I'm talking about you and everything that you want to do.
Yeah. So this is actually one of my new ventures is, okay, I kind of cracked the code in how do I intertwine into lessons? It doesn't have to be separate curriculum. I don't need hours and days of training. How do I intertwine into my interactions with students, deliberately intertwine these lessons on mindfulness, metacognition, executive functions, and I figured it out and we're doing it. And so now I've just been hitting the ground doing things like this, going to schools and saying, this doesn't have to be a big, crazy, daunting thing. A lot of it is just changing our mindset, changing the way we talk to them, changing the opportunities we present to them. And honestly, it's so much more enjoyable and a lot less work. It comes down to it's a lot simpler in the end because we're doing things like taking the onus off us and putting it on the kids, which is good for them. But we're still setting up the structures for them, but then giving them that autonomy and that confidence within that structured environment, which I can go on and on about why that's valuable to them. So yes, I've been trying to share it because I'm like, well, if we're doing it here, what if they do it here, they do it here, they do it here, and then that spreads and that spreads and that spreads. And especially with the pandemic, which has been devastating and sad for a lot of people, I do think it's opened a lot of people's eyes to the need for this, because once you let these kids go home and they didn't have someone telling them, do this, do this, do that, they were just lost. And so people are going, wait a minute, we need to teach kids these skills. We can't just expect that they're getting it because they're not. And so that's been good. I've had people show a lot of interest in that. And, I'm happy. I have a ton of resources on my website, on my social media. I'm also giving a ton of things out for free, just little advice here and there. Like we were talking earlier about the kids who are anxious, like this is Mental Health Awareness Month, May is. And so I've been giving lots of tips about how to help your children with their mental health. So there's a lot of information out there, and it's not as hard as it sounds. It's actually really easy.
Imagine the day where you look up and you see a school with your name. Like how cool would that be for you?
It's funny because even with the businesses, people are like, why don't you put your name in it? This is your legacy. And I'm just like, I'm never one that would be like name and lights kind of thing. But it's that kid who writes me an email 5 years later who tells me, this had an impact on me. That is like, and I know it sounds corny, but I can't even, I'm screenshotting those, sending them to all my friends and family. Like, this is so cool how you literally have that lasting of an impact on someone that it's changed the trajectory of their life. Like, seriously? So beyond the name being on a school, yeah, I mean, I'd love to do like a TED Talk or something too. I would love to do stuff like that, but I'm get a lot of rewards already. So, which is probably part of why I love my job.